This experience was actually it was a real side view of a past lifetime that I had. I was on this. I'm not sure if it was a basketball court or it was some sort of game court. I'm not exactly sure what kind, but I knew that games were played on it. And on this court, I was a Caucasian man. I was wearing a black T-shirt, and my hair was all slicked back. And I had this very kind of like a rough look. I looked like this one actor who was oh, I don't even recall his name. He was in that movie White Boy Rick. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen that one, but he was the father of that kid, White Boy Rick, in that movie White Boy Rick. I was the dad. It was something like that. And this experience actually came after I had watched that movie, and I didn't really. I wanted to see that movie, but when I was watching it, I didn't really want to watch it. There were certain things like that were okay and not okay, like in the sense that it was interesting and not interesting. Well, anyways, I see why I needed to watch it because I had this real side experience where I was like the father. Again, this was a past lifetime, and I knew that I was involved with a racist organization. I think it was even the KKK at the time. In that lifetime, I was involved with them or something like that. And something had happened to me where I had went to prison, and I was surrounded by all these different nationalities, and I started to see them for who they were as people instead of these ideas that I had as this body, as I had been conditioned and trained in this lifetime of mine. And I remember I was looking around at them, and I remember I thought they were just so like interesting. They were so interesting. It was like this unexplored world. I was very fascinated. And when I had came out of this situation again, I'm pretty sure I went to prison. I came out and I approached all these members that I was involved with again for that racist organization, and I told them, I said, this isn't for me. I said, I don't want anything else to do with this. And when I had first showed up again, they were trying to talk to me like, oh, hey, welcome back, and it's good to have you out again, and all this stuff. And they were welcoming me with open arms because they thought I was coming back to the way things were. But I had told them that no, I don't like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't for me. And I was so shocked. They were so shocked, and I was shocked myself because they didn't react hostilely. They said, "Are you sure? Do you think you're making the right decision?" And I said, "No, I'm pretty sure this isn't for me." And again, they were pretty shocked, and I myself was shocked because I thought they were either going to kill me, stab me, jump me, something. I had all these ideas going into that situation of what could happen to me, but I knew that I just needed to tell them that this isn't me anymore. I need to get on with my life. And so that was the experience. It was very interesting that in this past lifetime, I'd taken that risk because, of course, that could have resulted in the dying of the body form and certain things like that, the destruction. And so it was just very interesting for me to face that, and it made me look at my current lifetime, because in this lifetime, I'm a Hispanic individual. I'm not Caucasian, but that doesn't even really matter. But in the social world, it does play, and it has an effect on certain individuals who have these ideas. And I remember when I was at a very young age, I would kind of wonder, what's going on with all these people? Why do people have these funny attitudes? And even people I knew just had these funny attitudes, and I couldn't comprehend why, because as a little boy of maybe 5 or 6 years old, when I looked at people, all I had was compassion, because I could move my awareness, and I didn't know that I had this ability. I thought it was kind of like normal. I would move my awareness to see through their eyes, and I could understand why they were doing what they were doing, even if they were, doing whatever. I could understand, what's going on. I had this view. I had this ability to see things that way. I had this view. And so anyways, just a fun experience because it was kind of facing it. And so that was exciting to face that and be there. And it kind of made me reflect on what I've been through. So it was an interesting experience. I just wanted to share.
Yeah, Jeremy, again, those are good, and to write those up and let people know, because basically people are bored. That's why they have all these attitudes, because they don't know what else to do with themselves. But in that time, at that moment, you made that decision. See, that changed everything. instead of going along, you decided something else. And so, the guidance was there to take you to the next step, because they just wait for us to make the decision. We've been basically taught to beg and rely on whatever, but realistically, it's all like a test to where, no, we decide. And so that changed everything for you. And so you come back into this lifetime and you have those views, you're seeing more so. And that's why a while ago I wrote that group in Facebook, People of the Earth. Because that's just what we are. You can say, well, you're there in California, you're in the United States, you're in China, you're in, Spain, whatever. I'm in Mexico. It's not about that. It's about, we're just people of the earth. That's it. And it's all about waking up. And again, people need something to fill in their time with. And basically, it's boring stuff, and that is their attitudes. They like their attitudes. And we all grow up with that because this is how we've been taught. Our parents taught this or whatever. And, maybe if your dad or relative or whatever was a redneck and hated black people or whatever, you're going to take that on. I took things on from my parents and whatever, not only the ideas, but the emotions, the attitudes, sensations, whatever, you take that on till you can figure it out for yourself, till you make the decision. Yeah, it's very interesting how it is, and it's a lot to get through. But again, here you are because of all the decisions you made, you see? And so we've got this idea as we come into the earth here in a new lifetime, this is the control factor of, oh, well, God made you, and you're this and that, so you want to make good decisions and follow the word of God. So that's the basic idea of the planet. This is what the controllers have promoted all the time, is to look to authorities, and that the decision has already been made about your life, you see, and that you're just here doing whatever, which doesn't make sense, but all you know is these ideas that you've been given, and that the creator created you, and you're here, and let's see if you can figure out heaven or hell. So again, as Paul came along and now we're here, we see that we don't have to deal with that nonsense, but we were raised with it, but it got you here all through that and figuring it out. Yes, thank you, Jeremy.
I wanted to make a little comment about the religious ideas and, God, and he has this plan. I remember I used to hear those ideas when I was very young about predestination. They call it predestination, and God has a plan for your life, and so you don't need to worry about anything. But I kind of would look around at like what was going on. I'm like, this is the plan. I just wanted to share that because it's something that I remember that they tried to really hammer into me as a child, that certain individuals tried to hammer it into me to be agreeable. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And so again, when you're talking to people, I like to make it fun and interesting, find out where they're at and what they do, and etc., and bring things in just to make it fun while you're having conversations. And so, yeah, the basic idea is just like you're seeing, God has a plan. All right, the religious people know that God has a plan for us as a destiny. Well, okay, so right now, because God created everything, supposedly, you can play off this, that, okay, so what's happening here with all the destruction and poisoning and everything else, so this is part of God's plan. But of course, they got to bring in the devil. Okay, no, the devil's doing that. Okay, and so you've got this idea, and it's always been the battle between the devil and God. So they created this story that, well, God created the devil, but he went bad. And so, again, people have this in their subconscious so strong because it's also from past lifetimes. Not only did you hear it this lifetime, you've heard these things hundreds of lifetimes. And it's all these things in this dark area that's just grown into whatever, and that becomes like a big ball and chain, a big black ball and chain, because we're part of what we've created and agreed to. And so getting through this and facing this, that's a whole lot, and dealing with it at the same time. Yeah. And again, I've seen so many people come and go, and they know this stuff. They know it. They know the difference, and they will still go back to religion eventually, because it's just easier for them to beg and just go along with, I've known people that go back to the Bible, and it's just like, well, this is God's plan, and, I was misled, and, by you and others, and Paul and whatever, and they just go back to their religion because they feel safe with that idea, and they just let those ideas decide for them. They've decided to let those ideas decide for them. And so that's the choices we make are very, very interesting. So again, awareness, and people getting to that point where they really have the awareness to see that and see what's going on, not only in creation, but with all life itself. That's a whole lot to get through the matrix and the maze of this stuff. So yeah, a step at a time, Jerry. So yeah, we keep going. Hang on, here we go.